Hi guys, welcome to Software Jobs Training, and I am Tanveer, and this is a video for week 1, day 5. So today we are basically going to cover tables and some style tags. Okay, so we'll begin with tables, and as you know that tables are basically used to display some data in the tabular form, right? So over here you can just see that we have our data placed in rows and columns format. So we are going to discuss this, right? So let's just begin with the most basic thing that we are going to cover, that table tag itself. Okay, so make sure when you start your table it should be enclosed in a table tag, and then you can specify the borders and make sure the table tag is ended. Okay, so in tables each row is started with TR. Okay, so this stands for table row. Okay, and this is like table row 1, and this is another table row. Okay, inside TR we basically need to insert the columns. Okay, so columns can be basically inserted using TH or TD. Alright, so TH basically stands for table headings, and TD stands for table data. Okay, so in the first row you can actually use the TH because these are the headings, and they are slightly in the bold format, so they can be good to differentiate between various columns. You can just put in headings. Okay, this is heading 1, heading 2, and in the subsequent rows you can simply have table data. Okay, and border is for the border of this table. So if you do not want any borders, you can put it to 0, and you can increase it if you want to have thicker borders. So without wasting much time, I'm going to jump into our live editor so that we can just see them in action. So I'm going to create a new file that says week1 day5.html. Okay, so our page has been loaded, and I'm going to select the week1 day5.html and write some HTML code over here. As normal, I'm going to begin with writing head and titles. So the title could be week1 day5, and then I'm going to put the body tag. So every code we write should be inside the body tag. Okay, so the very first thing that we need to write down is a table. This is the basic tag that we need to write to show up a table, and we can specify the border is equal to 1. Okay, so the very first row that we are going to insert is actually inside the TR tag, so that is going to stand up for table row, and this is our first row, so it should have headings inside it, right? So I can just say that student ID. This is going to be a table about some students. Okay, then I'm going to write down the name. So second column will actually have the name of the person, and third column have the age. Okay, so in the first row we have specified some headings using TH. So we are going to have 3 columns throughout our table: student ID, name, and age. Then I can just start another TR, and okay, there's a typo. I'm going to get rid of this. And in second row I can just start up writing the data inside it. So TD is basically for table data, and I can simply start to put in the data. Student ID is going to be 1, and the name is going to be James, and age is 19. Okay, so you can just go on and keep on inserting the data using TR and TD. Just make sure that they're properly closed so that they do not mess up with each other. Okay, so I'm gonna put in some data over here. Let's insert one last row. So we're gonna have 3 rows basically, and student ID should be 3, and the name could be okay. So we have the table ready, and first row is for heading. So first column will be of student ID, second for name, and third for age. And first student is student ID 1, James, age is 19. Second student, Mila, and 21 of the age, and it keeps on going. Okay, so I'm gonna hit save and view this page. So it's pretty simple that you can see that this is the student ID, and this is the name and the age. Okay, so it's all showing up in a tabular form, right? Okay, so there are a lot of attributes that you can actually put inside a table. For example, you can align cells, you can specify row spans and col spans. So I'm gonna come to this row span and col span in a minute, but first let me show you how to actually increase the width of this table. Okay, so one basic attribute that we have seen is the border, and also specify the width is equal to, and I want it to be slightly wider, so I can just put width is equal to 400, or 300 will be more than enough. I want to say that width is equal to 300, and I'm going to hit click on view, and as you can see, this is quite wider now, right? So in this way you can actually increase and decrease the width of full table, or you can, if you want the student ID to be slightly less wider, so you can just put in the width over here. Okay, so this is the first column, so I'm going to say width equal to 100 and save. So I'm going to get back to this, and you can see that the width of this is decreased. Okay, so if you do this for the first column, this is automatically going to be copied all over here, so you do not need to rewrite it again and again. Alright, so these were the basic attributes, and now we are going to discuss these two attributes. First one is row span and col span. So span is basically used to actually define that how many cells do you want a column to occupy. Okay, this may sound a little tricky, but it's not that complex, right? So let me just jump over to the live editor. Right, so over here we have 3 columns, and each TD is taking up the space of one cell, right? If you see in the example, this is cell number 1, this is cell number 2, this is cell number 3. But what if you want one column to actually take the space of 2 cells? Okay, so you actually want, suppose you want this to join this 3 and carry into a single column, right? So for that you have to use col span. So I'm gonna hit one more row into this, and in TD you will have to define col span. So I want this column to take the space of 3 column. I want this column to take the space of 3 cells actually. So I'll say col span is equal to 3. Okay, and inside I'll just say no student available. So you can basically write any text over here and hit save. So as you can see that this single column is actually taking up the space of 3 cells, right? So this is all because of col span. You can specify it, col span is equal to 2 if you wanted to take the space up to here, right? So if I had it like col span is equal to 2 and another TD over here you can say you can just put any number. So in the first two columns, in the first two cells actually, it is going to say that no student available, so I can put say no student available, yeah. And in the third column it's going to show its age. Okay, so saved it and refresh. So over here it has taken the call span of two columns, and age will be as it is. Okay, so in this way you can actually occupy multiple columns, and in the same way you can do this for rows also. So in case you want something to occupy multiple rows, then only a single row, you can occupy multiple rows. For that you can just say row span. Right here, as you can see that I've given the row span is equal to 2, and it will actually occupy the 2 rows. Okay, so this single row is actually taking up the space of two rows. So call span and row span are basically used to increase the width of the cells. Slide number 4 is a skill assessment, so we are going to skip this up, and now we are going to discuss a little bit about styling. Okay, so as we know that colors are everywhere, and by default the HTML is not that visually exciting because it is simply black and white. So we're gonna learn some styling now so that we can make our pages more attractive. We can color our things up, make our tables colorful, put some background colors, put some foreground colors. Okay, so let me just get to the next slide, and so here we have it, rainbow. As you can see that we have a lot of text written over here, and something is in red, and then orange, then yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Okay, so basically to change the color of text you need to specify it in style attribute and put an equals to sign, and then inside it you need to specify the color, and then colon, and then the color name. Okay, so you can say the color colon red, color colon orange, yellow, green, blue, or anything as you require. So let me just get rid of this, and let's begin with typing HTML h1 tag and say CSS coding. So I'm going to run this. As you can see that this is actually in black color. Okay, so by default HTML will always be black, but to change this you can just go to the style attribute and color colon orange red. Okay, so you just need to write down the name of your color, and you can see that the color of this code of this h1 tag is now orange red. Right, so you can just put in any color name over here and see it in action. So in the colors you can either define the color name. It could be blue, green, red, but there are millions of colors, right? So you cannot have a name for each shade. So you can do is that you can select a color, you can use Paint for that, or you can take help of Google to grab the color code. Okay, so this is the hexadecimal code, and each color has a unique code. Okay, so each and every shade that you see on internet, each color has its own specific code. So you can just grab the code and make sure you put the hash in front of it and just write down the code, and as you can see that this FF and 4 times 0 is turning out the red text. Okay, so this is the code for the red color, and each color has a code. So you can just basically use Paint or Photoshop, or you can take help of Google to grab the color codes that you require. Alright, so the color is is used to actually change the foreground color of the text. And there is one more property that says background color. So it is as background dash color, and this is actually used to change the background color of this h3 tag that we have used. So just h3 and then style is equal to background dash color, and you can just specify the color to change the background. And as we have already discussed this, that the HTML color names are very limited, but there are a lot of color codes. So you can either use the color names if you want to go with the basic colors, and or you can use hexadecimal codes for like we have used over here. So you can use the hexadecimal codes, you can grab them from the internet, and it also works with the RGB values. So you can grab the RGB values, or you can use the HSL. So it really depends on your setup that which one do you actually want to use, but it is basically recommended that you use the hexadecimal thing, right? So it is quite easy, and they're easy to grab in any software. And this is the last skill assessment. So I expect that you can solve this on yourself. So you basically need to put some colors in and some styles for background color, and you will see the output. So I'm gonna skip this. So the final words are that so far we have seen that how to create the HTML pages, and we have gone through the basics of the styling. So you can actually apply the colors and the background colors. So it's time to head to your live editor, and you should create the files with your names, with your personal choices, and start to design the HTML and CSS pages. So in upcoming weeks we will see that how to actually take them to a new level, how to design the pages, how to structure your web pages efficiently. So this will bring us to the end of this video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thank you.